Hi, welcome to the Wellness Corner with Voice for Equity. My name is Tiana, and today I am bringing you a short restorative practice that is great for easing into the fall, this new season that we find ourselves in. It's a great practice for resetting and restoring and just getting really centered and grounded. So I hope you enjoy this practice. So today we will be using a blanket or a towel, whatever you have, and you don't need it. You can do this practice without it, but if you have one, I encourage you to grab that. I have a blanket here that's folded in half, and I'm going to just roll it the long way. So a nice long roll here, lying it down your mat the long way, so in line or parallel to the top of your mat. You'll come around to your back. We're going to lie down, and the blanket will support you just under your shoulder blades. So you'll scooch forward, and you can adjust it as much as you need to. So we're looking for a bit of a heart opening here. So just to open the chest, let your feet fall open. Again, if you need to adjust your blanket, go ahead and do so. I want you to be comfortable here. We're going to be holding our postures for a few minutes. With your arms, they can be drawn down the sides of your body. It might also be nice to cactus your arms to get a little bit more of a chest opening and shoulder opening. Just letting the backs of your hands relax to the earth. Just relaxing your fingertips. Soften your jaw. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Maybe you even open your mouth here and circle your jaw around. You tend to hold quite a bit of tension in the jaw area. Sometimes we don't realize that we're clenching or tightening. Close your eyes if you haven't already, if that feels comfortable. Turn your awareness to your breath. I do want to add, if this becomes uncomfortable on your back, maybe your low back, with your chest open like this, you could bend your knees, taking your feet mat width distance apart, and then letting your knees fall in towards each other. That could release some of the tension if you feel that on your low back. Otherwise, if it feels comfortable to keep your legs extended, you'll do that and enjoy the heart opening. Taking full deep breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. Perhaps setting an intention for your time here on the mat today. Maybe the intention is just to give yourself a few minutes to nurture yourself, to take care of yourself. I heard a quote the other day that said, "It's not selfish to take time for yourself, it's sacred." So make this time sacred. By really dropping in, tuning in to what it is that you need. Bend your knees here. Plant your feet. Draw your knees into your chest or towards your chest, just wrapping your arms around your shins. Giving a little squeeze here. And placing your feet back down onto the mat. Rolling over onto your side. And continuing to roll over onto your belly. So align the blanket up or your towel, whatever you're using, if you're using one, so that your elbows kind of just hug that blanket in towards your body. As you're on your forearms, your palms are planted. Pulling your heart space forward to lift your chest, press the tops of your feet into the mat. Draw your shoulders down your back. Maybe feeling that strengthening along your low back here. If this ever feels like it's too much of a back bend, you could walk your hands a little bit forward, and so that you're not sitting up as high. That'll take some of the tension if you're feeling that on your low back. Staying connected to your breath. Maybe you can hear your breath and it sounds like you're really comfortable here. Let's turn your elbows out to the sides, to the long edges of your mat, and stack your hands. Bring your forehead down to the backs of your hands, just as a little release here. And to release, place your palms under your shoulders. Tuck your toes under and press up onto your hands and knees. Walk your knees up until they're under your hips. Bring your big toes to touch behind you. Take your knees about mat width distance apart. Press your seat to your feet. Walk your arms forward and just let your forearms or your elbows rest onto your towel or your blanket. Relax your forehead down to the mat. So this is your child's pose. Again, maybe feeling a nice release and stretch on your low back after that nice back bend in Sphinx pose. Not only do you maybe get that release on your low back, but here with your arms, if they're resting on a blanket or a towel, you feel that stretch maybe in your upper back as well, in your shoulders. Dropping in here. And taking a scan of how your body feels here, and also scanning how you're emotionally feeling in this space today. Honoring where you are. Recognizing any feelings you may be having. And shift back up to all fours. Your knees under your hips. Let's walk your right knee forward towards the edge of your towel or blanket, or even to the edge of your wrist if you're not using a prop here. Turning your right foot up towards your left wrist. Come down onto your right seat. So you can use your right hand to help ease you down. So you have your right shin is parallel to the top of your mat. And with your left shin, it's parallel to the long edge of your mat. So you have two 90-degree angles with your legs. Use your right hand on the earth to press out of your right hip. So notice if you're leaning into your right seat, use your right hand to press and to sit up taller. See if you can maintain that length in your spine, and then walk your hands forward, coming down onto your forearms if that's available. Otherwise, you can stay here propped up using your hands to prop you. So see what feels best here. Wherever you are, trying to relax into the pose. Think of the pose as a surrender. Where can you let go? Where can you find ease in the shape that maybe feels really tense? If you have tight hips here, we tend to carry a lot of tension here in our hips. So breathe into that space that feels tight. You can stay propped up onto your forearms, or if you feel like you're creating more space and that maybe you could go a little bit further or deeper, you can walk your arms, hands forward, and rest your forehead down to your prop or to your blanket or to your mat. Walk your hands in to sit up nice and tall. So slide onto your right seat. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you'll swing your left leg around, bringing it about parallel to the top edge of your mat. Slide your right shin back, your right leg back. So again, you have that 90-degree angle with both of your legs. Use your left hand here on the outside of your hip to press out of your left seat. So again, notice if you're leaning into it, totally fine. But if you can, use your left hand to press out of it, just so you maybe feel that stretch a little bit deeper. Perfect place to stay is right here, where you'll gently walk your arms forward, coming down onto your forearms. Continue to press out of your left seat. So using your left arm as leverage to press. And just noticing maybe the differences in the two sides. Maybe one being a little more open and the other one maybe holding a little more tension. And no judgment, just noticing. And the same thing here, if you feel like you have a little more space to go further and explore, you can walk your arms forward, relaxing your forehead. Stay connected to your breath. If you're holding your breath or your breath is really tight, adjust into the shape. That can mean sometimes that you've gone too far. If your breath is really short, or you can take deeper breaths, sending your breath into those places that feel tight as a way to create space. So decide here what you need. So now walk your hands back in to sit up nice and tall, swinging your right leg around. So if and I'm crossing my ankles here just for a moment to transition. If you're using a blanket or a towel, I'm going to tighten mine back up. So it's really long and thin. And placing it the long way down my mat, I'll swing my legs back around. Coming down onto my back. So I'm going to line the blanket up towards my seat and come onto my back. Your head can come off of your prop, or it can relax onto the prop, whatever you feel is most comfortable here. If your head is off of the mat or off of your prop, sorry, you may find more of a heart opening here. So find what feels best for you and your neck. Plant your feet here. So your knees are over your ankles, just placing your hands, your right hand on your belly, your left hand over your heart. Bring the soles of your feet together. Butterfly your knees out to the side. So this might feel really intense here. The further you slide your feet away from your body, maybe you feel a little bit less intensity. The closer they are, maybe a little bit more intense. If it's too intense, you can always straighten your legs long down the mat. So find a shape that feels good here for what you need. So this is another hip opener. Connecting to your breath. Connect to the rise and fall of your chest and belly as you breathe in and out. Noticing the sounds around you. Maybe the birds outside your window. The trickle of the rainfall. The wind moving through the trees. Perhaps connecting to a sense of gratitude for all that is around you. Finding beauty and joy in all that is around you. And carrying that beauty and joy, your intention with you into the next part of your day or your evening. Take your hands to the outsides of your knees. If your legs are still butterflied out, draw your knees together, bending your right elbow. That's comfortable and rolling onto your right side. You can always roll over onto your left side. Just cradling your head into your bottom arm. You're in this fetal position, feeling grounded. Using your hands to the earth to gently press you up to a comfortable seat, crossing at your ankles, coming into a comfortable position. Perhaps your eyes are still closed and staying connected here for another moment. Just letting the practice wash over you, wash through you. Namaste.